Good afternoon, students. So today we are going to discuss about the topic called taxonomy of living organism. Okay. So what is taxonomy? Taxonomy means classification of the organism. So there are uh, billions of living organisms in the world, which includes plants and animals. Okay, which means animals and plants. Okay, so in that certain group, in that certain group, there are some kinds of organism which are different from its characteristics and its behavior. So same goes to plants. So with its structure, characteristics, and its growth, uh, there are in here, plants are also classified based on its structure, characteristics, and its through via flowers or fruits, etc. So based on that, first thing is its characteristics. Second one is its morphology. Based on this characteristics and its morphology of the animals and plants, they are classified. They are being classified. So that's why it is called as a taxonomy of the living organism. Okay. So the first initiation for the evolving the taxonomy is was began by provided by Aristotle. Okay, for Aristotle, who lived at 384 BC. 384 BC. So he is the one who emphasized the way of the living organism and classified by its habit, body parts, and its living and its behavior. So that's why we called it. That's why we call him as a father of a biological classification. That's why he is the first one who initiated the term of a taxonomy. That's why we called it as a father, call Aristotle as a father of biological classification. And upon researching through the taxonomy, the one person, a Swedish naturalist called Carlos Linnaeus. Okay, so he is the one who further take the taxonomy into advanced level. He is the one, a Swedish naturalist. He is a Swedish naturalist who is the one who takes the taxonomy into the advanced level. So that's why we call him as a father of taxonomy. That's why we call him as a father of taxonomy. So he is the one who divided the he is the one who divided into classes as who divided the organism into class, order, genus, and species. And yeah, this is a bottom to top approach. We bottom to top approach. So if any organism or a living organism, at first means we need to find out what kind of species is this, and that only we we need to approach from bottom to top. Okay, so and then Yes. And then another scientist who is expert in a taxonomy called E. Mayer or Ernst Mayer. Okay, he is from 1942. So he considered a species as a group of interbreeding population. Okay, he considers species as a group of interbreeding natural population, which is described in its book called New Systematics. Okay. Now we need, in now we need to know about difference between taxonomy and systematics. Okay. So taxonomy, what it holds, it is a discipline of classifying organisms. Okay, it is a discipline of classifying the organisms, whereas systematics, it is a study of biology that that dive of which handles the diversification of species. What is diversification of species means? The species which are diversified based on a climate, land location, other morphological conditions, etc. So that is known as diversification of species. And so taxonomy which handles governs the naming of the species. Governs the naming of the species and identify the specimen for preservation. Identify the specimen for preservation for future studies. So here governs the evolutionary history and relationship of the species. So generally we say taxonomy as classification classification of the species plus nomenclature, which is generally termed as taxonomy, whereas in systematics, taxonomy plus phylogeny. So phylogeny means which I previously said about the diversification of the species, right? And the relationship in between the features species. That is generally termed as phylogeny. So taxonomy plus phylogeny is which is nothing but systematics. Okay. So next thing is taxonomy hierarchy. Okay. So taxonomy hierarchy, which was introduced, which was introduced by the same Swedish scientist Carolus Linnaeus. Okay, he is the one. He is the one who arranged the taxonomy of the living organism from species, and then genus, and then family, order, order of the species, and then class of the species, final, finally its division of the species, and later its kingdom. So he is the one who classify the organism under under this hierarchy, this which is designed by Carolus Linnaeus. Okay, so types of species. So in that types in that species, there are three kinds of species we have to classify. So what are the three types? Means biological species, morphological species, and phylogenetic. So in here, biological species. So which is it is how this biological species comes in, which means a process of the evolution by through the process of evolution. In here, the both morphological species and the phylogenetic species are comes under the product of the evolution. And then, so basic principles of nomenclature. So basic principles of nomenclature. So nomenclature, which was formed to classify and name the organisms. So for animal, so for classifying the name for the animals, uh, which was given under the council by ICZN, International International Council for sorry, not council, International Code for Zoological Nomenclature. Okay, so basic principles of nomenclature for classify the name for the animals. Uh, it was assigned by International Code for Zoological Nomenclature, and for classification for classify the name for plants is handled by ICBN. So same International Code for Botanical nomenclature. So that's all for today. So if you have any doubts, please contact me by through via Urban Pro. Thank you.